reaction towards what we have been passing around the whole week. So the first bombshell drops on educational kitty. Currently, anybody in education sector understands that there's a lot of fiasco, there's a lot of downfall, there is a lot of breakdown, there is a lot of, I don't know how many terms I have to use to actually make you understand that Kenya, it is not well with education. Many schools have had to be forced to close down early because principals are not seeing money anywhere. As far as there's also internal expenditure, lack of prioritization of the funds, and sometimes using funds based on who is who. The reality is some schools are suffering. There is a problem in how capitation is streaming to schools. However, do principals miss to go for the workshops? And how much do they carry? Most of the time, the workshops are held at Mombasa. And my question is, how many times, how much money do they carry? It is highly possible that one person carries almost 200,000 and more. When we also look at the consideration on priorities in schools, how much do schools consider what's necessary? Like, do they buy the revision materials? Do they enhance workshops that will support teachers into becoming better in class? Do they support, the simple symposiums that will lead students into directly interacting with the tests and exam materials? That is another question we need to raise. In the political fiasco, the problem is with our kitty that directs towards education. So currently there's been a lot of questions raised surrounding the money that is directed towards education. Of late, there has been a report coming from GACHAGUA. Of course, somebody will say that GACHAGUA should not be giving the report. But GACHAGUA says this, Mbadi says this. Who are us to doubt? When Mbadi says there is no money to go towards education, should we doubt? Maybe we can just laugh at it because, as I always say, when you don't laugh, you will get into depression. Sometimes you just have to laugh at it and forget about it maybe and press forward with what you can carry. Now, as we hear the contradictions between Kumi Bila break and one term, the reality is that every man for himself, God for us all. That's what we are getting. Andre Souza, I saw you the other day. Thank you so much for coming back here. Hello, big up to you, and thank you so much for showing your face here. You can give us a like, the first like. Actually, I appreciate that so much. But the political fire is actually burning, and there is no smoke. There's no smoke. It's just fire. Now let's get to some information here that has been dropped by not just GACHAGUA but also NATEMBEYA. Of course, today NATEMBEYA was in Malava, that is in West Kabras, somewhere in Kakamega North. And he suggested that education is being ignored by the current regime. And everybody who knows around what's happening around the clock will agree with that. Thank you guys for coming on board. I'll urge you to take some moment and give a like to my video. That's one thing that I really appreciate a lot. When you do that, it's like glucose to someone who is racing in the field. It encourages you to keep running, knowing that you have the energy. So give me some glucose by liking the video. All right, thank you so much. David Hamby, welcome. It's first time I'm seeing your name here, but thank you so much and welcome to the board. You can subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet, and you can also give a like to the video. And take your time to go through the rest of the videos once you have that moment. So thank you guys, and let's get into this hard stuff. All right, so I'm going to play a short video here just to to check on the tickets surrounding this matter of education, right? I don't know what you've heard about matters to do with education and why the capitation is delaying, why schools, some of them had to be forced to close early. However, I don't actually suggest that the money that comes in school is always used rightly. Corruption in Kenya has gone to the grassroots. And you find that in schools, sometimes principals will decide to misuse money. Sometimes they'll use on things that are not worth while letting out things that matter. And in fact, in academics, what matters more is that aspect of, the academic. Then co-curricular comes in, though CBE is coming, and it equally balances co-curricular and academics. But then what about the expensive workshops we see around for the principals? What about the some schools whereby there are no books bought, there are no revision materials, there are no workshops for the teachers who should enhance students, there are no symposiums for the students, yet the principal goes on with A, B, C, maybe giving a lot of allowances to the BOM members. I'm sorry if you are a BOM member here, but I've just been observing a trend whereby BOM members come to school sometimes from every week, at least appear twice, and of course they go away with each at least 3,000 or 5,000 shillings. Some have even become a committee of collecting fee, and every time they go to schools and collect fee, they are there to sign an allowance of 3,000 a day or 5,000. I'm sorry for that. That was just a by the way. So let's go back to the main topic, and our main topic is matters education, and how GACHAGUA has actually revealed that there was money that was squandered, the money that has been used in corrupt deals, the money that has been used in personal development, and that is why schools are lacking money. How true is this? Let's check on what he says. And what makes me sometimes follow what he says is that he has never been arrested or told that what he's saying is a lie, right? So let's check on that. Give me some few minutes. Thank you for your presence here. Consider giving a like to the video. Consider giving a like. We are targeting 30 likes before our moment ends. So let me open this video here. All right. Yep, here it is.
When William Ruto was deputy president, he was saying that if elected together with Uhuru Kenyatta, free education for primary and secondary will continue. Kuanzia Januari mwaka ujao. Kuanzia Januari mwaka ujao. Masomo kutoka standard 1 mpaka form 4 itaendelea bila ya wazazi kulipa school fees. Kuanzia Januari mwaka ujao. Masomo kutoka standard 1 mpaka form 4 itaendelea bila ya wazazi kulipa school fees.
Veil Lane, welcome to the house. This is the sorry state we have to encounter anyway. But then what do? It is about that 2027. I hope the citizens will think about what has to be done, and they look at leaders as individuals and not as parties. They look at individuals as per what they can do and not what they say they can do. There is a difference between looking at somebody and hearing what they say they'll do, and also looking at them as and gauging what they can do. So welcome to the board, and thank you for your presence. I've not received any like yet. What is happening, guys? Please take a moment and give a like to the video. Take a moment and give the like to the video. Devi Hambi, where did you go? Andre Souza, where did you go? Okay, so consider giving a thumbs up to the video as we proceed. So, guys, you remember very well during the campaign period, Ruto came out promising that no parent will pay fee for their kids. But during his moment, he has been clearly out of that. Even though there is capitation coming, but it is never coming as it used to. Away from that, we've seen a lot in terms of university. Currently, if your child is going to university, you're going to strain to get some money before they get there, and you'll continue paying fee just like you did in high school and even more. Yet, previously when we were in university, it was the cheapest thing ever because of the subsidization of education, and again, we could be sure of receiving loans, especially if you are on job. Unfortunately, that has become a nightmare to many students. So, right, the question is, where did the money go? Because the confusion came when Buddy reported that there's no money for the students. Now, let's hear what more GACHAGUA will tell us here.
All over the country. This money that was meant for education is what this Soprano guy is having helicopters, the way Professor has said. Today they were in Mombasa. The helicopters are almost having an accident in the air because of the sheer number of helicopters hovering all over. And this is money that was meant for education. And I cannot understand how Soprano, who is a professor, would want to take part in going round wasting money meant for education on nonsense and politics. But sometimes I was just thinking about it last night. How did we get here? Why is William Ruto destroying education? And I thought about it at night and I have come to the conclusion. Is the advisors he has chosen. William Ruto has many very advisors. Very educated, but they are all flower girls. They don't advise him on anything, they are just for show. I was his deputy, so I know. When I tell you, I know what happens. He has two advisors whom he takes advice from. Oscar Sudi, who is a standard 3 dropout. Farouk Kibet, who is a standard 6 dropout. So these two advisors have no value for education. So they have advised William Ruto to get money meant for education and take it to bribe people on useless empowerment programs that are not empowering anybody. I saw a lady in Kisii complaining that after spending the whole day for the empowerment program, she has a group of 31 people that were given 2,000 shillings. All this money is stolen by Soprano and the members of parliament. And this is the money that was meant for education. Let's pause for a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, however much GACHAGUA is using labeling of Soprano, is there reality or truth in what he says? Is it true that the money that was meant for education is being used for these members running around up and down in helicopters? Is it also true that they are picking the money that they so-called giving to empowerment and using it on their own intentions? Is it true that Farouk and Sudi have advised the president to actually go around and bribe people in preparation for 2027 election, or is GACHAGUA only complaining as a bitter individual? This is a question I'm posing to you so that we think together and see whether GACHAGUA makes sense or he's just an empty debe making noise. Now, considering Sudi and Farouk, of course, Farouk has not responded. But Sudi came up and responded in a famous viral point that has come out clearly. He says that even though he dropped school, even though he's not educated, what matters is reasoning. And that when you see and hear and can move on, that is what matters. How true is this? Does it mean if you give somebody who does not have education or dropped out of school that mandate to take care of advisory matters, they will think of their personal matters and forget about education. Is that the problem? Let's think about it. Now, Mbadi, of course, came out clearly to say there's no money.
The proof. Treasury officials claim there is no money.
That we have a strong feeling, especially from the National Treasury, that it was not right to pay school examination for all the children of Kenya. It is not right. You subsidize people who cannot.
The Education Ministry.
Now, among some of the demands, or rather questions that have been raised by Mbadi since he went to office, is offering completely free education to the citizens, paying exam money and such programs. And that has come out as controversial. In fact, this year, students were almost forced to go back and talk to their parents so that they pay the examination fee. Somehow, the confusion was solved. Are they safe forever? Was that a permanent or semi-permanent solution? Now let's get to NATEMBEYA. NATEMBEYA today was in Malava and the skies were up, and all he could do is to continue saying that he is actually willing to have the Luya people get into office so that next will be another tribe. So are these tribal politics, or is he actually representing what every Kenyan wills to have? Let's listen to him.
Akachagua Malava. Hata kama mheshimiwa Malulu Njende alikufa, lakini watu wa Malava mmepewa nafasi kubwa ya kuonyesha dunia hii kwamba Mluya amekuwa mjanja wa siasa. Sasa mambo ya kupangwa na watu wa nje, tumesema nini? Tumesema nini? Jamii namba 2 katika idadi ya watu katika taifa la Kenya inatakana kuwa kwa meza na kisu. Sisi wakati wa nyama na watu wengine unakwisha wakati wa uchaguzi huu. Watu tuko pamoja. Jamii ambayo ni kubwa, watu wamesoma, Mwenyezi Mungu anatupenda. Mambo ya kuwa maojima tumesema tawe. Mambo ya kujimbia watu makaburi tumesema tawe. Mambo ya kuwa mayaya tumesema tawe. Mambo ya kuchanja kuni kwa matanga tumesema tawe. Hizo kazi sio mbaya, lakini nataka jamii nyingine pia tusaidie. Ama namna gani? Pia sisi tukue managing directors, tukue general managers, tukue machairmen. Jambo la pili, sisi kama jamii tumeleti down wa Kenya. Tumekubali jamii 2 kuwa na president miaka yote, Mkikuyu ama Mkalenjin. Watoto wa Kenya wakizaliwa wanaamini usipokuwa Mkikuyu au Mkalenjin huwezi kuwa rais wa Kenya. Wakati huu nafasi ya Mluya kuvunja hiyo laana ili baadaye ata
All right, so okay, somebody else has come on board. Lekanisa Joshua, hi. Lekanisa Joshua, welcome on board. Give a like to the video, thumbs up. Vel Lane, did you give the like? I just saw the sorry and you disappeared. David Hamby, I don't know whether you also gave a like. So guys, you can actually see the hot environments with the, I don't know whether they're hot balloons or the reality. The fact that everybody is stepping up and saying that they want to be president. So NATEMBEYA here is actually bringing Malava to a standstill in Kakamega. And remember, yesterday ODM were at Kakamega. He's here to preach the gospel of leadership and saying that they will no longer be taking the low cadre positions, but they want to be in the office. So he went about mentioning something to do with the education. Of course, I heard him talk about education and the fact that if they take the government, they are going to support education fully. Because they actually know what is happening, the hullabaloo surrounding education and what is happening on the ground. How real is their promise? Are they promising just like Ruto did? Now that we have already seen such promises, or are they going to deliver? That is the question we have to keep asking all the time. Meanwhile, in Nairobi, Babu has declared that he's going for the gubernatorial seat, whether ODM allows him or not. He will be going even as an independent candidate because he believes if people believe in him, they'll vote for him as an individual, not necessarily as a party. Now, Sifuna came about to speak for the party, and yesterday we saw from Wednesday, we saw what he was representing. We felt that the entire party had sent him to speak. And yesterday at Kakamega, we saw even Atwoli saying that he learned that everybody else had sent him to say what he said. However, it has come out in another confusion as Raila Odinga tries again to contradict his support that he had given to Babu. Now, let's, not Babu actually, but Sifuna, let's get to it, the double speak thing.
He was misquoted on the party's position regarding the status of the party on its memorandum of understanding with President William Ruto's UDA party, which Party Secretary General Edwin Sifuna as Party Secretary General.
The fate of the ODM and UDA Memorandum of Understanding continues to divide the Orange Party, with a section of the party leadership led by party national chairperson Gladys Wanga, Suna East MP Unet Mohammed, and a host of Odinga's allies from Luo Nyanza, calling out Sifuna and the party for double speak.
Sasa wale ambaye wanasema hiyo memorandum imekufa, hiyo ni kama punda na nyamba. Memorandum hiyo bado iko. Na hakuna siku imekufa kwa sababu memorandum inaweza kufa kwa njia ambayo inajulikana.
Na atakuja atuambie kama wanachama ametumwa na nani. Aseme hiyo mambo yenye anasema. Kwa sababu tumesikizana na tumeelewana.
Jamii ya Waluya, jamii ya Wajaluo, jamii ya Nyanza, tulichukua msimamo kwamba Kenya lazima iunganishwe ikue pamoja. Mimi sijui hii mambo ya double speak inatoka wapi.
ODM party leader Raila Odinga, who attended a burial in Ugunja, Siaya County, says he was misquoted on his remarks, defending and endorsing Sifuna as the party's spokesperson on key issues.
If you don't understand what I'm saying, come to me and ask me to elaborate. We sit down as a party and discuss this in the proper organ of the party. And we come up with a resolution. This is what the party is done.
Kila mmoja anasema yake. Nasema yake. Tukimaliza na hii, kuna Sifuna, ongea na waandishi wa habari. Sifuna anaongea kwa waandishi wa habari. Ndio ni mauti za chama.
A section of Odinga's allies have threatened to remove Sifuna as a party SG, alleging he has joined forces with former DP Rigathi GACHAGUA.
That is where politics turns very sweet in the analysis, guys. So, listening at this double speak again and the confusion even Raila Odinga himself is giving, I listened to him yesterday and I've listened to him during this funeral. I'm like, what are you saying? Are you trying to play safe so that they don't pull you out of the broad-based government, or what exactly are you saying? Now, allegedly, Oscar Sudi came up with a statement indicating that Sifuna asked for 300 million shillings for him to be in the broad-based government. And when he was not given, that is why he started backing. How true is this? Let's look for that detail. Let's get that detail. Let's dig out that detail. Because at some point, Sifuna even threatened to walk out of ODM and said that in case they don't want him, he will be okay. And he will move out, you know. On the other hand, we saw very well NATEMBEYA while at Malava. He spoke about Farouk and Sudi, right? Indicating something to do with, especially Farouk, indicating that he is camping in Kakamega and is trying to mislead the people in their thought, or rather his demands. So let's look for the details about what Sudi said as the internal gap in ODM widens. Because you've seen Gladys Wanga, you've seen this guy, he's known as who? Kibet, is it? And so many other members within ODM trying to say that Sifuna has to be pulled out because whatever he says is not in line with the party. Now let's check for the receipts on Sudi before we go ahead. Now, how true is it that Sifuna is collaborating with GACHAGUA? How true? Maybe you can share your thoughts and type in the comment sections if you have any thought about this. As we proceed, I still remind you to actually type in my comment section and also like the video. Thumbs up, guys. Lekanisa Joshua, Vale Lane, David Hamby, Andrew Souza, and any other person who is watching, consider liking the video. We had a target of 20 and we've only got 1 like. Guys, and we are already at minute 27. We are not far from finishing. We are remaining with about 13 minutes, guys. So don't let me down.
Ule mtu mwenye hataki maendeleo. Wakati rais mtu mwenye hataki maendeleo. Ule mtu mwenye hataki maendeleo. Ndugu yetu Sifuna. Ule mtu mwenye hataki maendeleo. Wakati rais na kinara wa ODM mzee wetu Raila Odinga, watu walikaa chini na wakakubaliana, wakasema tufanye kazi na tuunganishe nchi. Shida, unajua brokers wako kila mahali. Najua Sifuna anakasirika sana kwa sababu hapo kwa hiyo panel ya kukutanisha watu. Au kuwa na panel pale Sifuna, ni rais mwenyewe waliongea na Raila Odinga na wakakubaliana in very simple terms ya kwamba washikanishe nchi na waunganishe nchi. Lakini najua uliuliza milioni 300 ili utuunge mkono. Mimi nataka nikwambie Sifuna, hatuwezi kukupea ndururu. Hiyo pesa barabara yako ukwenda. Hii utapeli na brokers wenye wawezi kujifunza kazi ya kufanya kazi ya tenda ama kutengeneza barabara ama kuuza sukuma ama kuuza makaa. Unataka ukae Nairobi uongee Kiingereza mingi hapo na upewe milioni 300. Hiyo haiwezekani. Nataka nikwambie Sifuna, utashangaa. Utapiga kelele kwa hiyo TV, utapiga kelele kwa chukua, lakini broad based ni ya maana na ni ya muhimu katika nchi yetu.
That was a response that Oscar Sudi gave to Sifuna after Sifuna had indicated. I don't know whether Farouk is now going to also respond to NATEMBEYA. But this now becomes the war of those who are in government and those who are not in government. Now, what is the reality? Are these people defending our needs or our demands, or are they seeking positions in the government? You know? We are also informed of a crisis meeting that Raila has called just to resolve the dispute within ODM. What do you think will be the resolution out of this meeting? Let's check on this.
Leader Raila Odinga has called for a central committee meeting on the engineering and service in Ugunja, Siaya County. Raila has reaffirmed every member Francis Atwoli has taken a swipe at Edwin Sifuna, arguing that his contradictory stances undermine the party's foundations.
Ambia hii mtoto anaitwa Sifuna, kama amechoka na chama chake aondoke. Sisi tulikuwa na Joseph Martin Shikuku alikuwa Secretary General wa party ya
And the crisis meeting actually is supposed to be individual. Like if Gladys Wanga is not okay plus the rest, he is calling upon them to call for a crisis meeting to resolve the tensions within ODM. Automatically, if ODM continues with conflicts or tensions, what they are going to do is to divide and they're going to lose amongst themselves. Now, by yesterday, many people were saying that Sifuna is the kingpin of Western from the ODM side. If he's pulled out, who is going to replace him currently? The other question was, if Baba also walks out on Babu, does that mean he loses or Babu loses? If Sifuna is forced out of ODM, something he already said he will do in case he's told, is Baba going to lose or is Sifuna going to lose? Let's ask ourselves into that. Atwoli, on the other hand, is being called a broker too. So is it Sifuna that's a broker and having been accused by Sudi to have asked for 300 million shillings to support the broadband government? Or is it, can we also call Atwoli a broker for whatever he always shifts? He shifts goals all the time. Now, Mbadi also has tried to warn
Growing your Instagram doesn't have to be hard. Let me explain. Go to Plixie.com, set up an account, and start for free.
Just two things. Number one, and I want to speak to the media, and I want you to get me clearly about capitation to schools. This is what I said, and this is what I'm repeating. For so many years now, from the time Uhuru Kenyatta was the president, we have been under budgeting for capitation to schools. That is why you hear principals saying that they have not received money. But the government is saying we have released all the money. The mistake is when we tell the schools that every child we are budgeting for 22,000 and they are not receiving it, the schools end up accumulating debts. Therefore, we need to be candid and say that yes, we want to budget for 22,000 per child, but we have not been having that in the budget. And I was not speaking in a funeral. I was not speaking in a political rally. I was speaking to policy makers. I was speaking to members of parliament who approves the budget. And I told them we must enhance the budget for capitation so that every child receives 22,000. What we have in the budget today is less than 22,000. If you want me to lie to Kenyans, I am not ready to lie to Kenyans. We must budget so that every child is supported as the policies.
Now, guys, you can see that CS Mbadi has had to flare into emotions, warning Sifuna for disrespecting President Ruto. But then, what my question is, as he says he's telling the truth, does he fall in the same trap as GACHAGUA?
Our people are ready. They are supporting this broad-based government because we were conscious in making the decision to come into this government. Since I went to this government, I've been working with all my energy, all my intellect, all my knowledge. And I'm committed to make sure that I help President Ruto to revive the economy of Kenya, which was on its knees. And then we have no apologies to make. This country is ours. We have only one country. There is no any other country where we will run to. And those who want to destroy this country, we are not with you in that game. We want Kenya to continue. We will improve it. We will make it better. The economy is coming up. We just need the support, and this country will be better than what it is today. I want to end there and invite Eddie Ukech, the senator from Migori, to pick it up from there.
Guys, how sweet the Kenyan politics can be, you know. When you listen to those many voices, it all becomes sweet music, but sometimes confusing. And that is why we sit here to unravel and understand the narrative. When you tie one and one together, you get to understand it better than when somebody speaks on a different level, another on a different level. So when Buddy comes out and says that the budgeting for each student 22,000 was not considered, what does it mean? Does it mean all these years the money that has been coming to school has not been considered in relation to what they say? Because now he comes up with a narrative indicating that if they have to ensure every student gets that money, then the budget has to be improved. Now, what does that mean to us? Is that why a tax was raised on fuel? And we'll definitely get to raise the prices of other goods? Those are many questions you must raise. Oh my God.
Mimi sasa sina chama, sijui chama party leader yangu yuko wapi. Lakini pia sikizeni, hata mimi kumbe sikujua ni nyinyi mko nyuma ya sifu. Bas, leo ndio nimejua nyinyi ni shanzi sana. Mimi ni mzee wenu wa hapa, niko na matanga huko nyumbani, nimepoteza anti wangu, lakini
Guys, I think we've reached the ultimate end, 40 minutes, and I'm so appreciative for those who are around here, for the likes, and we continue with this journey even tomorrow, because today I didn't have a lot of time. I think 40 minutes were just enough for me. So bye-bye, good night, and nice time. I appreciate.